The financial literacy program is billed dollars and cents, and it's a national initiative by the 100 Black men to raise awareness of financial literacy amongst high school students. For the past 12 weeks, I have led a financial literacy program at Capitol High School, and we have had 15 high school students participate in a 10 to 12-week program where we have focused on the building blocks of creating wealth, from personal budgeting and savings to introducing them to the basic financial instruments in terms of stocks and bonds, mutual funds. These students have created a $2,500 portfolio, and so they engaged in brainstorming on ideas that impact them day to day. So they've learned a lot of concepts around risk, reward, discipline, and how to create wealth.
At first, I wasn't really interested in anything about money because I don't like math much, but getting into the program, I realized that this finance and all that is really interesting, and I don't know, I just kind of got into it and I started doing the work, and it's pretty fun actually.
I was a little scared and nervous because it was a lot of information. I was like, wow, I didn't know it was this deep. I thought you just put money in the bank, you know, leave it, whatever. But actually, I've acquired knowledge over the past few weeks, and I'm proud of myself.
Well, the first thing that we've introduced the kids to is how do you measure wealth? Because so often, if you just flip through magazines and you look at your standard television channels, you would think that wealth was attributable to the number of watches that you have, or the number of cars that you have, or number of homes. So the very first thing that's very easy to understand is assets minus liabilities equals net worth. And so what we show them is how an NBA superstar could have a net worth that's less than a high school student, simply because they don't understand the measuring stick.
He gave us a case and we read over it, and I had to make sure that I knew the tax return and what things would be taxable and how the candidate could make money, basically, because that's everybody's goal.
And so from there, we start to talk about instruments. How do you create wealth? Budgeting. How do you even accumulate the capital that's necessary to then invest in these instruments? And so we go into budgeting, we go into different instruments. We talk about diversification, not putting all your eggs in one basket. So we talk about mutual funds. What is a mutual fund? And we start to kind of break down those concepts leading up to putting real money to work. So this program really hits on two of our core initiatives. One is economic development, and the other one is mentoring. And with respect to mentoring, one of our key sayings is what they see is what they'll be. And over the course of 12 weeks, we have introduced them to several facilitators, including ourselves, as sort of examples of people who have demonstrated the discipline to enter into these fields professionally. But then what I also tell them is that understanding financial literacy doesn't mean you need to be a financial analyst. It just means that someday you want to have money and you want to know how to preserve it. And so we have modeled for them what it is they ought to aspire toward with respect to saving, investing, and accumulating wealth in legal ways that are sustainable and that are encouraging. It makes sense. We think with financial literacy, it gives these kids hope and a tangible understanding for how they can get from where they are to where they want to be.
I want to do international business, and I want to open a boutique and a restaurant.
You know, I never was one to think about stocks and bonds and things like that. I was just like, I'm just going to put my money in a savings account and it'll work. But it opened my eyes to that, and now I know that I can make money doing other things that I don't know much about them, but now I do know.
It helped me to learn how to save and invest, and what kind of bonds and stocks I would need to put my money in to make it grow faster or slower, to help, you know, entrepreneurship, the business.
Several times the kids mentioned that I've taken algebra, I've taken geometry, I've taken these courses that I can't really apply, but I'm learning things here that I think are going to last a lifetime, and so that's what gives us a good feeling about it.